Welcome, everybody, to episode 153 of The China Show. Oh, man, do we have quite the show for you today. I mean, let me just put something in the background here. Whoa, there. You might be wondering what that's all about. We'll get to it. Chinese Cougars gone wild, but of course, the biggest thing on everyone's lips and on everyone's mind at the moment is TikTok.
Get this off the screen.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I want to be totally blunt and honest with our audience.
Yeah.
So they have a proper idea of what they're getting into.
Sure.
There is so much news going around the TikTok thing, and I promise we have so much to tell you about that. There's so much to see between the lines. I'm not just saying that because, like, mainstream media didn't cover this and this. There's a lot of analysis from the China side of things that we wanted to bring, because a lot of you have probably seen the clips from C-SPAN and all these debates and all this kind of stuff going around it. People supporting a TikTok bans, people that are against it. We want to cover that stuff. We want to analyze it, but also we're going to be looking at what China's response to this was. And to me, it's kind of being caught red-handed. It's like watching China's official response to this is very important. But we didn't want that to be the only thing. No. We wanted you guys to be able to enjoy some absolutely fine as wine 50 to 70-year-old Chinese Cougars for absolutely no reason.
Well,
absolutely no reason.
It's a phenomenon that you need to be aware of.
Yes.
We'll get into it. Don't you worry. Yeah. Okay, we got a couple of things up our sleeve for this episode. Yeah. But first thing, before we even get started, we should probably saunter into what's new. And that's where we talk about what's new with regard to China. And there's this thing that you just started to talk to me about randomly like a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you talking to me about lawnmowers?
Yes, exactly.
So
well, a lot of us have lawns. Now, we don't have to mow at the moment, but the weather's about to get nice eventually, and we're going to have to mow our lawn. So I think because of that kind of shift in weather, the algorithm, the ad companies, all these, Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff, they're firing up. They know that people are about to get outside, right?
Something special about mowing a lawn.
You do that's one thing you kind of embrace.
I love mowing a lawn, dude. Yeah. Except I always hit rocks and stuff and ruin I've got this little ride-on tractor thing.
Is that a shitty one or is it a good one?
So it's like a middle of it came with the property, right?
Yeah.
You know, that we moved into, so it's been in the shed. So I fixed it up.
I'm just trying to remember if it was like a name brand one or not. I know what it looks like. It's red.
Yeah, it's kind of like a middle of the range one.
Oh, okay.
It's not a well-known brand. But yeah, I enjoy it.
It's not Chinese.
No.
Okay.
No.
That was my segue.
Okay. But you get to go out there, you drink a beer, you mow it's fun.
Bro, everyone out there, broman, do not think that this is an ad for a lawnmower, by the way. What I was trying to say is that all these companies are gearing up for the weather change.
Okay, and so what is this ego?
So this is popping up all over my feed.
Technology and innovation create power beyond belief.
Lower the audio on that. We don't even.
We don't need audio on this one?
Well, just bring it down to like a background level.
I'll just get rid of it. We don't need.
No, have a little taste. You
want a taste?
A little taste, so you can get the atmosphere of the ad.
Okay, so there's this fake ass. I'm sorry for my language.
Fake butt.
This fake nonsense.
Anyway, they're going around with this battery powered like ride-on mower, and I saw this and I was like, oh, interesting. They have battery powered mowers now, right?
Yeah, it's been a thing for a while. It won't catch me dead doing that.
I know the push ones.
Oh, right.
You're such a redneck.
I mean, that's...
Me dead. I saw you drinking a beer last time.
That's right. That's part of it.
That's what you do, right? Anyway, the most important part of this...
That's not a problem, right? You could drink a beer on your own.
No, it's just that you would never use a battery-powered lawnmower. It's very redneck.
If I did, then I'd be drinking water.
Is that what never mind.
Yeah, anyway,
stop. No, it was important.
Okay.
This is my segment.
I'm sorry. Okay. Moment. Number 1 rated brand ego.
Okay, so you see this. And I saw this.
Gotta have a pretty big ego.
To make that claim. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I want to bring you guys a little consumer report. Mm-hmm. I saw this and I was interested because it's at Lowe's and Ace Hardware, very American super centers,
Yeah, I love Lowe's. I go there all the time.
Yeah, it's great. And it's being portrayed as almost like it's insinuated it's like a good old American brand, but we're embracing the future battery electronic power tech, right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, there's always a possibility that some of this stuff is going to be made in China, right? But at least if the brand is not, the lion's share of the profit is supporting maybe a homegrown business, right? Mm-hmm. So I tried to dive into this because, again, big box store.
Oh, because you wanted a mower?
No, I wanted to see what this was about. I was skeptical about the brand.
Oh, okay.
Because it's popping up on my feed. I'm like, this is weird, but it's at big box stores, right? So I go to the next slide. So I start looking into it. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay, so I go to their website, right? and it's secure. The website's secure. It's Ego Power Tools or whatever, right?
Okay.
And their key feature is that they have interchangeable batteries that recharge that you could put into all of their products. Kind of a cool little ecosystem, right?
That's with like every power tool brand.
I understand.
Dude. Like
I get that with
DeWalt or whatever.
Ryobi and stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I
pretty
understand.
much. And that's a selling point.
Yeah, but I had
you know,
not seen it. It's like a vehicle, a 22 horsepower vehicle that's running off of the thing that goes into the blower.
Yeah,
I thought
I
that
get
was
it.
kind of interesting.
It's not going to be the same battery. It'll be like a bunch of them probably.
Yeah, you have to put multiple ones in.
Yeah, you know,
You're fighting me on the wrong points.
I know, but buddy of ours makes this cool little adapter, by the way, so you can use like whatever random battery in a random thing.
Yes.
Like you can use a DeWalt battery in a Ryobi or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're so pissed off with them.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be proprietary, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go into this and I find out
Yeah.
that the real company, oh, it's too small to see, so go to the next slide. I made it big.
Okay,
The real company looks like it's called the owner company looks like it's called Chevron, right? You remember? Go to the next slide. You remember when we lived in California, there was a gas station called Chevron. So
yes,
I'm like, it's
they
some big American
ripped
company.
the hell out of you.
Yeah, they're
That's like
really
the most
expensive.
expensive one.
yeah.
Remember the one down by our place was like $1 more expensive
Yeah.
than the one just down the road always.
Costco or whatever.
Yeah, it's like no, Costco it's like $2 more
for
expensive than
sure.
that. Yeah.
Nothing beats Sunoco. Anyway, so
Whatever that is.
Chevron.
Sunoco, I don't use them.
You don't?
No, I don't
Why?
like to use them very much.
They're literally right down the road.
I know, but I got something against that logo. It just doesn't appeal to
I
me.
gotcha. Anyway,
Shell, dude, all the way. Yeah.
So Chevron.
Yeah.
We're looking at Chevron here. So I think that the parent company is Chevron. That's my gut instinct, right?
Yeah, if you're dyslexic.
Sure. I guess middle of the word lexic.
Okay,
Anyway,
yeah.
go to the next slide.
All right.
Then I find out that the parent company is actually not called Chevron. It's called Chevron.
Yes,
it's just
that's
so
what I'm
you
saying.
literally just flip flop two letters, not the whole thing.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the middle two, the least important ones.
It is very disingenuous, and they've done that on purpose.
Yes. So I'm like, wait a minute. This is sus.
Right.
Sus AF.
Yeah.
So I start digging a little deeper. Go to the next slide. And I pull this up and I go, let me look at their parent company's website. That'll be more important to see who owns
Okay,
this
like
brand,
Chevron,
right?
eh?
Yeah, Chevron. So can you pause it there?
Yeah.
So the key feature on the top there, did you notice that this website is not secure?
Oh yeah, it's not secure, and it's like global.chevron.org
Yeah.
or something.
So I'm like, okay, that's a first sus thing.
Yeah.
And I go to the bottom. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Guess what? Not only is this brand, right, made in China, which is that's a whole different kettle of fish. But
Yeah.
the brand is Chinese.
Yeah.
It just is a Chinese brand.
Sure.
Right? It's a mainland Chinese brand. So much so that even the main parent company website operates under the internet security law of the CCP.
Yeah.
This will have party branch members. This will have a vested interest from the Chinese government in this company.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great segue for our TikTok segment, by the way, which we'll get into in a little while.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to, I wanted people to be aware because what I've seen recently is a big push away from Chinese products.
Yeah.
A lot of brands pulling out. Like I went to Staples not that long ago, right? Mm-hmm. And I was digging around for some stuff.
Yeah.
And everything in there was not made in China anymore. Not in the whole
Not
store,
everything.
but I'm saying the stuff I was looking for that was previously made in China is not now.
Yeah, like what?
It was pens,
USB drives.
that kind of stuff, right? All that kind of knick-knack stuff that you want, I was seeing made in Taiwan, made in India, all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was seeing, wow, there's actually a pretty big push. I'm seeing stuff that was previously made, you go to IKEA, right?
Yeah.
I was seeing stuff that was previously made in China that is now being made in Vietnam or Indonesia or Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Big supply chain pushes away from China.
Yeah.
But there are also brands that are masquerading as homegrown American true. You know, you're riding around this mower on a NFL field, right?
Sure.
Nothing more American than that. And it's at Lowe's. Nothing more American than that, right? What's more American than going inside into this like megalopolis of
Sure.
like power tools, right? Turns out it's not just made in China though. It's a Chinese brand from mainland China.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
CCP influence.
Yeah, that is very disturbing.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's pretty easy to disguise this. You
Yes.
know the whole name, the Chevron thing?
Yeah.
You see that a lot in China.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, just car brands. Like the brand I had, the Cherry, right?
Yeah.
It's just Chevy. They just changed the one word. And BYD instead of BMW. It's even used to have the same logo as a BMW, like blue and
People
white.
don't like to talk about that.
No, they changed it. And then they changed it to like build your dreams or something, but it was just a BMW knockoff. The thing is like that's how they get you because, you know, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's that. You know, and like you said, if you just look at that Chevron and you're just glancing over, it looks like Chevron and you think,
literally
oh,
does.
it's an American company. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for pointing that out.
No worries. I thought a little bit of consumer report stuff is in line if we find something.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we got here?
Passport Bros back.
Passport douche.
Okay, let's get ourselves out of here and take a look.
Round 3?
It's round 3. Yeah. So, let me bring up the volume.
Oh, can you explain to everyone what Passport douche is first?
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
Just in case they're new.
Basically, there was this thing going around, and this is recent. We've actually even gotten more because this guy obviously said he just does this now. He's in Brazil.
Yeah,
right.
We think
He's in Brazil. But there was this thing. You may have heard of the Wolf Warrior movies. We've talked about it before. But there's this very nationalistic, sort of movie series called Wolf Warrior, and the whole idea behind this was the main star, Wu Jing, the main star of the Wolf Warrior series. He kind of did an interview, and he said like, China's now really powerful, and if you pull out your Chinese passport, people will respect you. And
it's the most powerful thing in the world.
Exactly. And like if you pull that out, people like just make way for you, basically.
One thing I don't want you to forget to mention is the whole leading up to this is him talking about how being American or America's power in this world is gone. Now it's China's time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what it was, the purely xenophobic nationalism.
Yeah, I know. So now I guess because he did that and it kind of went viral and people are very nationalistic, this guy goes around and he does these skits where he pays people, and we believe it's in Brazil. It looks like Brazil. He pays people to pretend to like harass him, and then he like pulls out his passport, and then like they all
calls
like,
it a passbook.
Down. Yeah.
But anyway, they back down and they go like, "Oh, you're Chinese. We won't harass you anymore because China's so powerful."
Yeah. So let's see what he gets up to this time, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see.
我讲，干什么你们？安娜，不要动我的包，放开！不要动我的包。 不要动！不要动我的东西，它比我的生命还重要。这个是我们国家最高的荣耀和最高的尊严。今天就算你从我身体上踏过去，我也不能让你动它一下。还我的包，放开！听见没有？
你很爱你的国家？
对，我还爱我的国家。
我很感动。中国人还靠保健你的优势，你的有国人，放开一下，放开，咱们。 给我了！哎，我的包给我！不要害怕。
Hold on, go back.
Yeah.
I just want to go highlight some key phrases.
Yeah, we have to. So
I want to first address the audience and tell you that I wish this was sarcasm, and I wish this was just taking the piss, and I wish he was just joking, but it's not. Yeah. Obviously, there are a lot of Chinese people that laugh and think this is pathetic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop it from going viral and being spread around and trying to capture the bullshit like uncle nationalist audience.
Sure.
Which is what's happening here. One thing I want to say about this guy is he's got a different chick every time. So he's such a misogynist, sleeping around all these girls.
Well,
Ridiculous.
I mean, he just hires them to be a damsel in distress.
I'm aware. I'm just saying that, the whole... nationalist rhetoric about like any foreigner coming to China and stealing their women.
Sure.
It's like he's doing the opposite, like projecting that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
Anyway, so they, just to talk you through it, he gets captured as always.
And there's always like a woman with him who's in danger. And so then he becomes a hero. As you can see here, they take his bag and he's like, don't touch my bag. And then they pull out There's a Chinese flag in his bag, because that's what you do when you travel around.
That's what you do, is you fill the whole bag with an epic-sized Chinese flag. Not a little one.
Yeah.
Not a little one.
No, it's just
you fill the whole thing.
It's the only thing in the bag.
不要动我的东西，它比我的生命还重要。
Says, this is more important than myself.
Yeah, don't touch my stuff. This is more important than myself.
He's referring to the flag.
Yeah, the flag, obviously.
Which, by the way, it's very important that he uses the character. You wouldn't know because the word for it in Chinese is ta, right?
Yeah.
And the word for him is ta. The word for her is ta. I don't know why I just pointed at myself. The word for her, it's 2023, bro.
It's your pronouns.
I can do whatever I want, bro.
My pronouns are ta.
Anyway, you'll get that joke if you speak Chinese. But the thing is, the sound is the same, but the characters
are different. Yeah.
The way he refers to the flag, he doesn't use the it pronoun. uses the her pronoun, which is interesting. And this has nothing to do with gender, by the way, but he's calling it because it's his motherland's flag.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So he's saying that like this is the highest honor and dignity of my country, right?
Yes.
Like, don't touch this thing. But I really just love the fact that it's a small backpack and the whole thing is full. It's not like here's my water bottle, here's my wallet, here's my phone, here's my notebook.
Yeah.
It's a flag.
It's
You're
just a flag.
carrying it around.
And it's a cheap nylon Taobao flag as well, which is even worse. At least
Yeah.
get a nice one made out of like, I don't know, silk or
国
something.
家最高的荣耀和最高的尊严。今天就算你从我身体上踏
Even if you trample all over me
过去，我也
today,
不能让你动弹。
I cannot let you touch her. He's talking about the flag.
Yeah.
Which is pathetic because what is he going to do to stop them?
20 guys hold them down.
And he says, I can't let you touch, but he is touching
but he
it.
is.
He's
touching
holding it.
He's literally holding
Yeah, I
it.
get
看
it.
一下，
Anyway, I love this one because in this sequel,
Yeah.
he got the other characters to speak Chinese.
Yes. So what did they
放
say?
放开，听见没有？
你看看你
He goes,
You really love your
爱你的
country.
国家, that's what he says.
Yeah.
In a very thick accent. So
Yeah.
he's obviously got them to memorize some lines.
Exactly. You really love your
国
country.
家
对，我还爱我的国家。
Yeah, I love my country. He goes, I am very moved.
He looks very moved, doesn't he?
The way he says it
Yeah.
is so robotic. He's like, 我很感动. 我很感动.
Exactly.
中国人还好，
And then he
Chinese-
goes, yeah, he says it.
Yeah.
The Brazilian.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Chinese people love peace, unity, and friendliness.
He just pulls this out.
Yeah.
And it's like butchered. Like he barely can
It's
speak
very
it.
bad.
黄店也就留下，人家有球人，放开一下，放开。
He goes, let him go.
Let him go, Fan Kaisha. Yes. All right. So he won because of the flag this time, not the passport. He didn't pull out the
No,
passport.
he didn't use the passbook, but it's very much in line. Like he's upgrading his props.
Yeah. Hey, next week though, we have another passport one for you.
Passbook.
Yeah, passport. Sorry. He's like, come with me. I've just saved you. My flag has, and they all run away. They're like, let him go, but then they run away.
They run away.
He
but
should
you
be
know
the
what's
one.
bullshit? Like there's some big plot hole here.
Yeah.
This dude is really moved, right? And he goes like, Chinese people love unity and peace and stuff. So obviously he now respects them deeply. Mm-hmm. But then he just chucks his bag at
Yeah,
him.
he just throws it.
He goes, give me my bag.
Yeah.
我的包，我
He goes,
Yes, F this
off.
flag. Stupid flag in a
Throws it on the
bag.
ground.
F
Flag
this
in a bag.
flag bag, you know? Bag
Yeah,
flag.
your flag bag.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like all pissed off. So he's
Exactly.
moved and he has this like grand motion about how he respects Chinese people now. But
Yeah.
he just chucks the bag in the ground and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So what's with this meme over here?
This was, okay, so I got these. Very funny, by the way. From a Chinese forum that posted this clip initially. I translated this.
Right.
This is from a Chinese speaking forum. Mm-hmm. So these are Chinese people that posted these memes afterwards.
Okay.
Which I thought were great. I'm Japanese in Ukraine because China refused to save any of their people when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yes.
And they abandoned them.
They
and
did.
all they did in response when all this shit was going down was they go, oh, just fly a Chinese flag.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, oh, you're Chinese. But it turned out to be the opposite because China started to support Russia.
Well, I mean,
So-
remember the initial wording of it was when you put up the flag, the invaders won't attack you.
Yeah, yes.
So the whole thing is that the Russians aren't going to attack you
Right.
because they're on our side.
Right.
It's
And
pretty
then-
much
Yeah,
what
but they were
said.
in Ukrainian territory.
Yes.
So then they're like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Finally, they got out. But anyway, that's the joke is Chinese people were like absolutely appalled at the response of their own government.
Yeah.
And you remember what happened here? This is another
Yeah,
Chinese
this is in
person
Hong Kong,
posted
right?
this, yeah.
And in Hong Kong, they basically paid a bunch of mainlanders to come out and protest for a pro-CCP thing.
Yeah.
And then when the rally was over, after they'd been paid or whatever, they threw all their flags in the trash.
Mainland Chinese.
Yeah.
Like Aigua AF.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
love their
Yeah,
party. Love
they threw all the flags away. They
Yeah.
just threw them in the trash.
throw them on the ground, the
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Shows you how nationalistic you are when money's involved.
Yeah, it's nationalism when it's convenient. That's what the Chinese government kind of depends on, really.
Yes.
Convenient nationalism.
Yeah, convenient nationalism.
Yeah.
Anyway,
remember that. It's time for the Cougars Gone Wild.
yeah, we're gonna bring you on to the Cougar section.
But before we get into this, we have to let you understand that we're talking about what Chinese people term as ai, which means auntie. And nobody in China likes ai's.
No.
There's this particular age group of middle-aged women that are so obnoxious that not even Chinese people like them.
No. It's bad.
They're part of what's called the lost generation. So they're usually the people that were running around as the little red guards for Mao and, basically sending their teachers off to concentration camps and whatever, ratting out their relatives to the Communist Party. They're not a good bunch usually, okay?
Yeah, I mean...
And of course, not everyone from that age is bad, but there's a certain type of person. It's kind of like in the States you can say a redneck, and everyone knows what a redneck is. Yeah. Okay?
Or a Karen.
Yeah, or a Karen or whatever. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So anyway, here we have an
Sias just said the lust generation. Please do not say that. And by the way,
I just kind of threw up a little in my mouth.
By the way, before we get into any of this, we do have a sponsor, and we have a word from our sponsor.
Oh yeah, we're going to have a word from our sponsor very quickly, and we'll be right back with the Cougars. Most important thing on a bike trip, beer. And the most important thing for a healthy lifestyle is a healthy diet.
And that's why I'm proud to say this video is brought to you by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day, and originally I wanted to give it a try because I wanted better gut health, I wanted increased energy, I wanted immune system support, and I hate taking all these like 10 pounds of vitamins and pills and all these vegetables and stuff. It's so much more convenient to take AG1 in the morning before I even drink my coffee. It makes me feel amazing because I know I just did something really good for my body. It's got all the vitamins I need. It's got everything that my body craves throughout the day. Taking AG1 is so easy. It's the easiest thing you can do under a minute. It's 1 scoop of powder mixed with water once a day, and it's been part of millions of mornings since 2010. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/ADV. That's athleticgreens.com/ADV. Check it out.
All right.
We're back to the lust generation.
Stop. All right. So first of all,
I'm just thinking of some of the people we'll be looking at.
Yeah, exactly. Let's first of all take a look at this cleaning lady here, and she's doing a fantastic job. I wonder if people will be able to spot what's wrong here.
那就揍俩。
Does anyone see what's going on?
Do it again.
Oh yeah, we better go back to that. Yes, sorry. What is going on?
That's going to be a cringe challenge for everyone.
Oh yeah. Maybe someone can explain what's happening here. Do you want to explain what's happening here?
Oh yeah, for all you listeners, there is a video of a cleaning IE, as they've been called. It would be that lost generation type age. She's a street cleaner, and she's trying to clean an LCD sign which has a scrolling message going by. But instead of using her broom to go across the physical banner, she's actually waiting for the LCD kind of LED characters to go by. And thinking that as they scroll by, she's cleaning each one.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so, as of course, you figured it out. It's not moving.
It's fun to have a laugh at this, but you have to understand that there are a certain age group and a certain type of person in China that comes from the rural countryside that absolutely has no idea how certain things work because they've never been exposed to it.
Yeah.
And I remember very clearly, and I have to tell the story, but I lived in this 32nd floor building, okay? I was on the 32nd floor of this building.
I remember that place.
Yeah. So basically, there I am. I get into the elevator, right? Hop in, and this guy brings his kind of elderly mother, but she's not that old. She's probably 60. Okay, so she comes kind of wandering in. You can see she's definitely from the countryside. They get into the elevator, all right, and the guy's like, "Oh, I left something." He's like, just wait for me," and he dashes out, and it closed. Okay, so the elevator goes all the way down to the ground floor.
Right,
doors open, and she looks outside, and she's puzzled, and she starts calling his name because she doesn't realize how it works. So.
How does she think it works?
This was the weird thing is she kept calling his name like, where are you?
Right,
in Chinese, like whatever the son's name was. And I tried to explain to her that he's
on the other floor
upstairs still. And she couldn't understand. She couldn't get the concept. So I actually just waited with her at the bottom until he came down again. So the door's open and magically he's there. And then she was like, okay again. And it wasn't like a dementia thing or anything.
No.
It was just a misunderstanding of how elevators work. And it was kind of bizarre to me. But there's that clip that we should have included. We'll include it next week of the same thing where remember the woman kind of gets trapped in the elevator? Well, like she's loading it up and then she opens it to try to get out in the middle.
Yeah, I'll check
anyway,
that in the notes.
Yeah, please put it in the notes. But that's what you're seeing here. It's just a misunderstanding of how the technology works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought we'd just show that. Now we're going to have to get onto this incredibly cringe.
Okay, well, see if you guys... I want to make it a kind of a challenge here.
Yeah.
It's an interactive challenge, you guys. So you guys know what a music video is, right?
Yeah.
In China, there's something called a KTV, which is karaoke, sing along, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Microphone, you sing along. These three Cougars
Yes.
made their own for a popular Chinese song that would be popular amongst that age generation.
Yeah.
And they made their own beautiful, beautiful music video that I think you guys will find very seductive, very charming.
Yeah.
See if you can handle it. We're going to have to pause it just in case. I did obscure the audio. But just don't want to take any chances. We'll pause it throughout and see if you guys are hanging in there.
Okay. All right. So let's get started.
Oh, this is... I want to introduce the characters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, there's Angela.
Well, let's go back first.
Yeah.
So at first, who's popping out of the
For
bush?
some reason, all of them have the name of Angela, but her Chinese name here is Guihua, which is a type of flower, right?
Yeah, well-
That's her nickname.
Yeah, Mei Gui is a rose. So
Yes, it's a Guihua. It's a different type of flower.
yeah,
This is Angela. She's Mei Ren, which would be beauty.
beautiful person.
It's beauty.
Yeah.
So her nickname would be Beauty. That's
Yeah,
what
you know, mermaid is Mei Ren Yi.
Yep.
So
Beautiful
just
woman, beautiful person fish.
yeah, beautiful person
Beauty
fish.
fish.
That's what a mermaid is. Yeah.
This
Sorry, I'm sorry. Her name is Tractor.
Daniel.
Iron Cow. It's
Her
literally.
name is Tractor.
I guess
So all of them
yeah.
are named Angela. but they all have
Iron Cow,
nicknames.
Steel Cow, Tractor. Okay, the others I get. Right?
I mean, they're just brutally honest, I guess. You know what I
Wow.
mean? It's like,
Whoa.
this is my friend. Her name is her name is Pretty Flower. We'll just call
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
This is our friend. We call her Beauty because she's the prettiest.
Uh,
This is our other friend. Her name
Tractor.
is Tractor.
Okay. She pulls the most in the countryside.
Absolutely, dude. Throw a yoke. You got a field plowed in no time. Swear to God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
reason.
Okay, yeah.
They probably call her that, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
God knows.
Who
God
knows? Tractor.
You guys have to understand the context of this. I mean, they're trying to. I think a lot of this lost generation type of IE culture, right? Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, they didn't record this song. Yeah,
Yes, means
I obscured the.
go with me together.
I
walk
obscured
with
the
me
audio
together.
because
Yeah.
I don't want a copyright strike. But listen,
Yeah.
I need you guys to understand the context of this generation.
Yeah.
They want to hold on. It's called like holding on to your beauty or holding on to your youth. And what
Yeah.
they'll do is they'll go and reenact things that in their mind, a young woman
Yeah.
would do.
I
Maybe
mean-
film a music video. Maybe go to a photo shoot in front of
Yeah,
some flowers.
yeah.
Maybe put on some makeup and
Which
face
you'll see soon.
filters.
Yeah.
And then maybe wear a flowery hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this retaining the youth thing. And that's what you're
Yeah.
seeing here.
Exactly. Hair
My
flip.
Lazy Sunday said she could plow my field.
Oh,
And that's,
no, dude.
we bring you the hottest Cougars.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so there's, you see what I'm saying here? It's
Yeah.
kind of like that photo shoot vibe.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, man.
As they go through the beautiful field. They love flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Always go shoot with flowers.
Yeah, you'll see more of that later. Oh, wow.
I like this dance coming up here where they're all kind of lined up together. Is that Tractor? Yeah. I like this. That Mayrin, the beauty, go back to that. She doesn't want anything to do with this. She's
Which
so
one?
embarrassed. The one, the beauty, Mayrin.
All right, yeah.
Because they're all named Angela. I see her on the left. She's just like, I don't know about this. Yeah, unenthused. She's like,
I don't know. She looks very
But
enthusiastic.
she's like
to me.
laughing, but she's embarrassed, right? The leader is clearly Guihua, right?
Where's
I
all
don't
that
know.
water
It's
coming
like,
from?
Apparently, it's raining behind them.
Do you think they just carried like their umbrellas are just full of water, and so when they walk past, like, where's this water coming from, dude?
I think you know what it is.
What?
It's some color wolves out in the bushes, and they're salivating over
Maybe,
these pretty
maybe.
women. They're just
Yeah.
like. Anyway,
Okay.
Just wanted to cap that off
Get
there.
before, yeah.
Yeah, apparently some dog walks by at the end. That's the ending there.
I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of really feel good to me because this is the kind of scene that you would come across in rural China.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not talking about like random like IEs running through
can
the
see
field
it.
with a.
You can see it.
Well, yeah,
Posing
I
for
mean,
photos.
Yeah. You see him, but it's very rare. Like
Yeah.
when you go to the sort of rural poor areas. But this scene,
That's very.
this
common.
is like
that's the scene.
That's everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you know, and if there's something worth watching or looking at, there'll be people sitting around looking.
That
at
is
it.
something you'll notice in China is people sitting around, like rural China, people sitting around, and when something's happening, everyone comes to have a look.
Yeah, let's come to have a look.
And they wanted to see the tractor and company.
Tractor. Yeah. Anyway.
Hopefully I obscured that song enough.
Yeah,
I
we'll
really
see.
put filters all over it and I sped it up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, we'll
let's
find out.
continue for the next clip.
Right, we got a little bit of cougar humor coming up here.
We have some cougar humor.
Maybe you can figure it out. I don't know, man.
See, this is a good example of like nothing going on. Cougars line up. They have the neighborhood Cougars come out. They're
Yeah.
like, you know what? We should definitely have had a Chinese name for the Cougars,
Yeah,
other than like IE and stuff. We got to make one.
we will.
Anyway, so they're all chilling, and there's one of them with a soft shell turtle.
Yeah.
And the thing about soft shell turtle is a very common food item in China, right? They make soup out of it.
Yeah.
When they're alive, before preparation, is their necks are very long.
Yeah.
And there's some slang names for certain genitalia of
Yeah.
males that would be called a turtle head, right? And so she's pushing kind of gently on the shell, and it makes the head pop out. And she just thinks this is the funniest gosh darn thing she's ever seen.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole village is out to see it.
Oh yeah. I mean, why not? It's something to see, right?
Something to see. This
Yeah.
is the cougar humor.
Yeah. And
Oh,
now,
this is your clip.
yeah, you
I
know
like this
that. Here's the thing, though. You know, right now is pretty much Hanami in Japan.
Right.
Okay.
Explain that.
Hanami means look at the flowers, and it's a festival that happens every year. You know, you get these beautiful sakura trees, these cherry blossom trees.
Sure.
And so they start to bloom, and it's only for a very short period of time. In Japan,
Yes.
it's celebrated. People go and sit under these things on, picnic blankets and drink beer and have fun, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. But of course, everywhere that these things bloom, or certain, blooming trees and so on.
We have them in DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The IEs go because now it's time for them to, like you say, recapture their youth.
It's definitely a thing. I don't know. I want people to understand that feeling.
So I mean, you can see right
Yeah.
here from this clip, okay? But they're brutal. So look, in order to get this photo,
That pose is
Yeah,
so key.
it is. In order to capture these like beautiful pictures of them pretending that they were like 30 years younger or whatever the case, they need to get near to the blossoms, and the best way for them to do this is to destroy everything. Okay, they love destruction.
Look at it.
I mean, look at this poor tree. The tree. They've literally ripped it apart.
You can tell it's China.
Because of the white. Yeah, the white
In
paint.
China, they paint all the bottoms of the trees white.
Yeah.
Someone gave me some bullshit story. I think I call bullshit.
What?
That it has something to do with pesticides or like bark eating bugs or something.
I think it's got something to do with. I know usually when you see something painted on a tree, it's to stop it growing.
Oh.
But you notice that it's always along the side of the roads that they paint them white. So maybe it's like a marker.
Marker, yeah.
I
Could be a
don't
marker.
really know. We're being ignorant about it, but whatever. What's more ignorant is them destroying the trees to take their
Yeah.
photos.
Look at that. Those are some cougars of note.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is probably a more cougar-esque bunch than Tractor & Co.
Yeah, I'd say.
Go back to that, though. I wanted to actually...
Yeah.
I want people to hyper-focus on that IE's pose because, like, you have the juxtaposition of this.
Yeah.
The broken tree...
That they destroyed.
And she is like, she needs this moment. She is so hogging the spotlight.
That's
here.
why they broke the tree,
I
though,
know.
because so that they could be in amongst the flowers for the
Yeah.
photos, right?
Yeah.
Because it looks better if you're in amongst the flowers, right?
Yes.
And that's a small tree; you can't climb it,
No.
right? So
No.
they break it so they can use it.
Well, there's other methods that you could do to get the same effect, which I believe you've captured in the next clip.
Yeah. It's like Actually, this became such a problem in Japan, and it became. This is a few years ago. It became such a huge issue in Japan when Chinese tourists would go there. You know, this generation of these Cougars would go to Japan. That one Japanese like TV station broadcaster was calling for Chinese-only zones in the tourist areas to stop the bad behavior.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. It gave such a bad impression of Chinese tourists that the Chinese government had to issue like statements to
Like
people traveling
behave
how to
abroad.
behave when
Yeah.
when you travel to do these kind of things. Because I mean, in China, it's pretty much a free for all.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
With this kind of stuff.
So you know, like climb in the tree. Why not?
Yeah. Might as well, right? It's
Yeah.
Another white based tree.
There's two of them in the tree.
Okay.
Um,
Coming out.
Yep. And hey, you want to get those petals coming down? Just shake it out. This, I believe, is in Japan. They caught them here, I think.
Oh yeah, those are Chinese tourists
Yeah.
in Japan. You shake to kind of rain down, so it's got that
Yeah,
snow
because
effect.
you want to get that effect. So hey, it's not naturally coming down. What do? You shake the tree, and I mean that's also how you could see they break them a lot because they do
Yeah.
that or they try to climb on it and
For sure.
stuff. Actually, I'll get us out of there so you can actually see it. Yes.
Yeah, see, she posed with the heart pose when the petals came down. That makes
Yeah,
sense, right?
yeah. You see them there picking the lilies out of the water.
Yeah, those are edible and beautiful. And
Yeah.
they smell really nice too.
That was in a park in like a beautiful spot in China, but in that particular instance they took all of the lilies.
Yeah,
they
not
didn't
one.
they didn't leave one. They took them all.
I went to it was wild. I was up in the grasslands near Mongolia. I always like to get away from the beaten path or whatever. So I was on the side of the road. I was riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I was on the side of the road with a friend or something, and we were looking out, and it was a rare sight because we're looking out into a field of wildflowers. And you
Yeah.
can imagine in China, this doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah,
right?
sure.
It was like the most beautiful, like kind of like scope of flowers. It wasn't just one type; it was tons of them. Right?
Okay, nice.
Middle of nowhere. Then all of a sudden, these cars pull up, right? And hordes of cougars' eyes run out, and they literally stripped it bare. There was none
sense.
left.
Makes sense.
It was wild and very sad.
Yeah, I remember they caught when just before Shanghai Disneyland opened. They
Yeah.
caught at night those. They would go in there at night
and all
with
the
their little
gardening.
vans,
Yeah.
and they were like stealing all the flowers that
From the
Disneyland had
displays,
planted. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we just have a couple more pictures of this kind of nonsense going on where they climb in the trees in the tourist areas. And I hope the picture that I'm thinking of made it into the set. Yeah, here. Here, no, I mean,
What? Are you
okay,
kidding me?
yeah. Not only did they pick these azaleas, they just
The other
ripped.
trees, those are full grown.
Yeah, just ripped them down for the photos, but then they used the
wood.
branches to make barbecues. They burnt the branches. So I mean, they're like a destructive force.
Yeah, they really are.
They just
oh,
are.
man, the eyes of that generation.
Yeah, they are. They just don't get in their way, man. Nothing can stop them.
They'll bulldoze you like a tractor.
Yeah, exactly.
For
And
sure.
they'll sit in your flower display, whatever. Yeah, but that's pretty
Cougars
much.
gone wild.
This is part of this reason we're showing you the flower stuff is it's all part of them trying to reclaim their youth, right?
Yeah, it's really a phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you just can't explain until you see it.
And it's bizarre to see like a middle-aged middle-aged women in high heels
Yeah.
climbing a freaking tree,
Yeah.
to
get that
to
photo.
get a photo. It just looks bizarre. It is just a bizarre phenomenon.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw a little aesthetic in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
this is
this
well,
could
just
just play
run this
while
and
we.
I can explain this.
早上好, yeah.
So this is the kind of imagery that you will see if you go on WeChat or QQ or any of like China's social media apps amongst that generation.
Yes.
It's a whole vibe. It's things that they'll post on their moments, which is kind of like I would say like a blog.
Yeah. Instagram or something.
Yeah, you would send, these are stickers, right? You'd
Yeah.
send these stickers to someone else, right? And be like, in the morning or like,
Yeah.
It's just this recapturing, like it's not even pictures of people they know, by the way.
It's just random pictures.
It's just random
Yeah.
pictures and these stickers, and they're like, you're have a beautiful day or something like this.
Yeah.
This is the aesthetic of that generation's women.
Yeah.
It's difficult to explain. I threw why Beijing Tiananmen in the background because I didn't want to get copyright.
Right.
Figured that was a lot safer choice.
Yeah, much
Propaganda
safer
song.
choice. Yeah.
You get this like I don't know how to if you just absorb this aesthetic and you'll understand that generation's recapturing of a youth.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
kind
Exactly.
of that feeling.
Yeah.
Very gaudy aesthetic. Very
I'd say.
like plastic almost.
It's a certain thing. IE
Yeah, like,
core.
IE core. We'll call IE core.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
IE core is a real thing for sure. Now the music would be something akin to this too.
Yes.
Or it would be some sort of operatic
Mao
Chinese
Zedong.
music. It would be operatic like propaganda music, but over like a happy hardcore beat.
Yeah.
Like but blasted to 11, so it's very tinny and blown out.
Yeah.
Like
it's,
deep fried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Oh,
you get the
yeah.
idea. Anyway, I just wanted to throw a little of that in there. That's
Sure.
the IE core. This is the kind of stuff you won't get anywhere else because it's impossible to explain
It is impossible
unless
to
you
explain.
lived in China for a
Yeah.
decade, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you get the
Excellent.
idea.
Definitely. So I guess that more or less brings us to the end of our IE core segment, our Cougars Gone Wild segment. But guys, if you got questions about this, don't forget to send us a super chat, which we'll answer later in Yamcha.
It's so apt. I miss this.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
It's such a thing. It's such a thing, and they love kids. Love throwing kids in there. Recapture the youth.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's what it's about.
They love masquerading as like minorities.
Oh yeah, they'll
That's a thing.
dress up in the
Yeah.
meow outfits and stuff from Taobao and so on. Yeah, and they go to the tourist sites and do that.
I just love this. It's so
Oh.
garish.
It's yeah,
So bad.
just give me bad vibes. Anyway, so.
It is kind of bad. Vibe.
Anyway, yeah, let's move on from
yeah,
this
sure.
because this could go on forever. So yeah, it's time for us to move on to the soft power hour, guys, where we talk about how China is trying to change your mind through various means, and specifically right now. And man, did that go on forever? By the way, I'm just skipping through. There is a
What,
currently
the IE core thing?
Yeah, it just
That's
went on
lovely.
forever. There is currently a big Chinese influence that I think everybody knows about and everyone's talking about, and that is TikTok. Now, the reason why I might seem a little off my game today is that I barely slept last night. I watched that entire 5-hour thing after work, in between everything else. Woke up in the middle, I got about halfway through, got up in the middle of the night, watched the rest of it, and didn't get back to sleep. So I'm running on like...
Then we watched more today.
Yeah, I'm basically just running on like 2 hours sleep. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
a bit
didn't sleep well either. We're
Yeah.
kind of dead, but it's okay.
totally. But I did get to watch it all.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to just discuss this without having actually seen all of it.
Sure.
And as you probably know, the CEO over here, Mr. Xu, he was grilled basically by Congress and asked many important questions, most of which he couldn't answer or simply said, I'll get back to you later, or did a diversionary thing.
We were trying to think, as you'll see,
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to come up with a nickname for him because literally, I would say 90% of what he said was, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Because he had no clear answer on all of these questions, which were very poignant.
Yeah,
And very
exactly.
easy to answer, a lot of them. Like, do you condemn the Uyghur genocide? And you can't answer.
Yeah.
All these questions, a lot of them were replied with, I'll get back to you. So we're trying to think of a nickname for him. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out later. I'll get back to you on that one.
Xu. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway,
We'll get back to that.
yeah. We'll get back to you on a nickname.
Yep.
So we'll just play a little bit here because we wanted to comment on. Listen, it's long. It's like 5 hours long.
Oh, we're gonna get a little slice.
There were so many important questions that were asked.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the way a lot of the questions were asked in a very aggressive way, as in we already know the answer. We're just asking it for protocol.
Yes.
Okay. But the fact that he couldn't answer pretty much all of the questions
Yeah.
or dodged the questions is the most important part. Anyway,
Can I say one thing before this?
yeah.
Some of the questions were pretty regarded.
Yeah, some of the questions were a bit
We're done.
dumb. And so, we like to pride ourselves on the fact that we're independent and
Yes.
we're down the middle here.
Yeah.
Obviously, when it comes to China, we have a bias.
Yeah.
Okay, and we do not want China meddling in our daily lives. And I'm personally, and I have been from the beginning, against TikTok. Just not only because I don't like it, but as we were having this discussion earlier, I can separate myself away from not liking it.
Yeah, for sure.
And just being like, well, it is what it is. It's popular and people enjoy
Yeah.
it, etc. So that's fine. I'll step away from that. But I don't like the fact that it's tied to the Chinese government.
No, it's bad. We'll get into some details.
Yeah, we'll get into some. We're just going to play these tiny little clips for you here. Don't worry, it's not long, and we'll comment on some of them as we go along. All right, so here we are.
I got to hand it to you. You've actually done something that in the last 3 to 4 years has not happened, except for the exception of maybe Vladimir Putin. You have unified Republicans and Democrats. And if only for a day, we're actually unified because we have serious concerns. Does TikTok support good? I mean, is TikTok a platform for good? Just yes or no?
I believe yes.
Okay. Does TikTok support freedom of speech?
Yes, it's one of the commitments I've given this committee.
Do you personally support the First Amendment?
Congressman, I'm here to talk about
As the CEO of TikTok?
I'm here to talk about TikTok.
As the CEO of TikTok, do you support
TikTok supports freedom of speech.
Thank you. Does TikTok support genocide?
Again, Congressman, I'm here to talk about TikTok.
I want to get right to the critical point of concern. So TikTok is able to collect massive amounts of personal data. We all know that. That means it could, if it desired, to use this data to influence narratives and trends, create misinformation campaigns, encourage self-destructive behavior, purposefully allow drug cartels to communicate freely and organize human and drug trafficking. Now, to be fair, all social media companies could do that. But here's the difference. It is only TikTok that is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. All these other social media companies are not. Mr. Chu, do you agree?
Before we continue, I wanted to point something out here that's it's kind of important. During this whole hearing, he was asked personally, he was asked how much money he makes, and being the CEO, and he said, I don't want to disclose that information, it's private, which, is correct, you don't have to. They also asked him, do you have shares in BitDance, which of course is the parent company, the Chinese parent company. He said, I prefer not to disclose my private information, so they didn't find out. They also asked you, do you have shares in TikTok? And he said, I would not like to, give out my private information. Now, the difference between a Chinese-owned company or foreign-owned company and an American-owned company is that in America, if there are questions about these things, Congress and, basically the law here, they can find that out. Okay, they can actually go and ask the company, they can give a lawful order, and they must disclose how much he makes. They must disclose what shares he has in which companies, that type of thing, which is important information.
For sure.
Because if someone's going to be testifying on behalf of, like in this particular instance, he's trying to completely divorce himself from ByteDance and from the Chinese, parent company, but he owns shares in that company because it turns out he does actually own shares in ByteDance. He did finally admit to it. Someone else asked him that question all the way down the line, and he did admit to the fact that he does actually have shares in ByteDance and TikTok. But that's why it's a different situation. American companies are beholden to American laws. Foreign companies aren't. And there's certain things that are beyond the reach of the American justice system if you're a foreign company. And that's why it's so important. It's something to keep in mind, Anyway, let's continue.
That TikTok is controlled by the CCP?
No.
Okay, I thought you'd say that. I disagree, as you thought I might say. Here's why I disagree. Your parent company is ByteDance, right?
That's correct.
It is correct. So, many of the workers who work at ByteDance, they're Communist Party members, right?
I wouldn't know.
Well, I think, for example, the chief editor at ByteDance, Zhang Wuping, is the Communist Party secretary, correct?
He works on the Chinese business, not on TikTok.
Right. He works for ByteDance, the parent company.
He works on the Chinese business.
Right. The parent company of TikTok.
The Chinese business is called Douyin.
Yeah, but it's all associated with ByteDance, right?
So ByteDance owns a number of businesses.
Right.
You
all report to ByteDance. Everybody's part of ByteDance. Okay? And do you know of any other employees that work for ByteDance that are part of the Chinese Communist Party?
Like I said, ByteDance owns Chinese businesses and they operate in China.
You don't know how many, but you acknowledge many must be card-carrying members of the CCP, right?
In the Chinese business, yes.
Yeah, the CCP holds what's called a golden share in ByteDance that allows the CCP to control one board seat in ByteDance. That's publicly reported.
That's not correct.
It's not correct. It's been publicly reported. They admitted to it.
You can on our website we have updated it so we can give people more transparent information on this. They have a share in a subsidiary that is only for the Chinese business. It has nothing to do with TikTok.
Yeah, okay, I have to come in here because he's trying to reclassify things, and it's very simple. ByteDance is the company that owns, TikTok and
Douyin.
Yeah, a bunch. It's one big company. It's kind of like Microsoft owns Xbox, okay? And Microsoft owns whatever else, owns ChatGPT, right?
Right.
It still belongs to Microsoft. So you can't, he keeps trying to say that, the Communist Party, member guy, that's in the Chinese company. When he's trying to, again, say that Douyin is a separate thing.
It has been proven time and time again that TikTok is beholden to ByteDance, which has CCP party members in the company that dictate what they do.
Yeah.
He is relying on the fact that the American public doesn't understand that in China, it's not just a different version of America.
Yeah.
It is a country where the CCP has direct control of every single entity that exists in China, which is ByteDance, which owns TikTok. It's very simple. I don't know why everyone has to dance around this.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
Yeah, me too.
We know we've been in companies all around China. There's a party head and a party office in every major company, and they dictate ultimately what you can and cannot do. If ByteDance is beholden to the CCP and the CCP says we need this and this and this, it doesn't matter what law or agreement is in place. It will be torn up, and they have that. It's as simple as that.
It is simple. I worked for Tencent, which is another massive, big tech company.
Yeah. Also evil.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I worked for Tencent. I met lots of lovely people.
Of
who
course,
worked there.
good people at work.
But they had an entire floor dedicated to the Communist Party in their building.
Yep.
Okay, and that's just the way it is. Every single company in China has to answer to the CCP. So TikTok is a part of ByteDance. ByteDance.
Oh, but the American operations are in America.
Oh, yeah. But I like the way
matter.
he keeps trying to say the Chinese company. It doesn't matter because
doesn't matter.
The main ByteDance,
Yes.
It's got Communist Party members in it, first of all, that run it, and it's beholden to the Chinese government. So does TikTok. So does everything.
So many. If you really want to get to the nitty-gritty, there's so many leaked audio things and the prerogative of what TikTok is trying to do and what the CCP actually wants. You can read into unrestricted warfare. You can read all these prerogatives that the CCP has had and understand. And I've been studying TikTok for years now.
Yeah.
I did a case study. I wanted to prove that, I actually did want to prove that the American operations would be separate from the Chinese operations, right? So I posted my content that was critical of the CCP, but it didn't contain violence or anything like this.
Sure.
Just my clips of my YouTube videos. And I was banned from TikTok. I would say about half of my videos were taken down for content violation for completely unrelated things. Because they were critical of the Chinese government.
Absolutely.
And he denies this multiple times. He says, no, you can find information that's critical of the Chinese government. That's fine if you find token examples. I can tell you this, leading up until now, it was very difficult to find information that's critical of the Chinese government. And they targeted people like myself, who are big voices in the dissident community of China, to be removed. It's very obvious.
Now that they're suddenly under the spotlight, they're allowing this content on purpose so they can say, look, you can search Tiananmen Square and you'll find it on TikTok. But previously, they were sneakily taking it off.
Yep.
And not only that, within this hearing, there was another important question that was asked about GPS locations.
Yep.
Okay. And one of the congresswomen there, they asked, does TikTok store accurate GPS information?
Yes. Specific,
specific, accurate GPS. And so he said no.
Yep.
And so she asked, the previous versions of TikTok, store and track GPS information? So he said yes, but that was a long time ago in 2020. The 2020 version and before, 3 years ago. So, the thing is, TikTok has, up until very recently, because there hasn't been enough scrutiny on it, been getting away with a lot of bad actions, like tracking exactly where you go. And then the thing is, he said, like, now in the new version, you don't. But then he was also asked, what if someone still has the old version on their phone? Will that still track? And he's like, yeah, but that's only a small percentage of people. Again, all these very terrible things that TikTok has been doing up until very recently, now they're trying to change because they realize that they've been caught out.
Now I say this as a former fan of TikTok.
Right.
I enjoyed the platform, right? But I wanted to look at this completely from an impartial perspective. As somebody that understands that, I'm talking from a 3 years ago perspective, understanding going into TikTok, actually I probably started close to 5 years ago, understanding that potentially this is a problem coming from the Chinese government, but looking at it kind of morph into maybe something that could be turned into something more secure, right?
Okay.
And I watched that not happen. Not only not happen, but I watched content that he was grilled about, by the way, in this hearing. I watched content that supported the CCP narrative. I watched paid Chinese, government agents that live in China and then, regurgitate Chinese propaganda on platforms to support the Chinese government. And I watched that content be promoted and not removed, while my content critical of the Chinese government was removed.
Oh yeah, not
and
only yours.
I know. I watched this simultaneously happen.
Yeah.
I watched this happen. I watched this content absolutely populate my feed and become almost the only thing that I was able to consume at one point.
Yeah, about China.
About China was positive messages about the Chinese government and how there was no genocide in Tibet, or they didn't wipe out the people in Tibet or take over Tibet in a violent way.
Yeah.
There was no genocide in Xinjiang. There is a lot of, when he talks about there's content in relation to the genocide in Xinjiang, he's absolutely right. And it's in promotion of the CCP narrative that there is no genocide in Xinjiang.
Sure.
It was relentless pro-CCP content. And I'm sorry, but I can't be on the sidelines anymore about that when my own content gets removed and then I watch everything else proliferate from the other side.
Sure.
It's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. And plenty of people have had their stuff
It's not just me,
removed.
but that I can speak on behalf of myself.
So anyway, we just have to cut through the chase that what he's doing here is he's bullshitting about the fact that, he doesn't know if there are any Chinese Communist Party members.
Bullshit you don't know.
It's public knowledge.
Yes. It's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, everybody knows, and anyone who's looked into BitDance knows that there are Communist Party members and high up Communist Party secretaries and so on that work there, that are on the board.
The 5,000 or so of you that are watching right now, you know more than the CEO of TikTok about his own company.
Yeah.
That there are Communist Party members on the board of this company, of ByteDance.
And
you can literally Google it.
You know what's even worse about this is he's always like, I'm TikTok. I don't know what's going on with it. He used to be the CFO of ByteDance.
He knows how that company operates.
Chief financial officer of ByteDance.
Yes.
If you're the chief financial officer of a company, you bloody well know who works there. You kind of have to. You know who's on the board. I
don't know.
If you're the chief financial officer of any company, okay, let's just say we have a company. Okay, I'm the CFO, and I don't know that you are a Communist Party member. That's ridiculous.
I guess
if I don't know anything about you,
don't show up to work.
I just don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
It's dumb. So he's just playing dumb, and it's just all this plausible deniability crap. So you have to always look through that when he's like, I don't know, that's a Chinese operations. He knows because he used to work for them, and a very high up position as well. CFO is not a tiny position.
It's to be the top 1% of positions. That's
yes,
for sure.
Exactly. He knows exactly what ByteDance is all about, exactly who works there, and exactly how it works.
So how much content do you have here for this?
Just a little more. Let's watch a little more.
And it's for the purposes of content licensing in China.
So there's not an internal CCP committee, which is a regular thing that happens in China. They have a CCP committee internally inside the company.
I run TikTok. I cannot represent the Chinese business.
Talking about ByteDance. No arrangement in ByteDance?
He didn't say.
So here's the main point of concern. China's 2017 national intelligence law states very clearly that, quote, any organization or citizen shall support, assist, and cooperate with state intelligence work in accordance with the law and maintain the secrecy of all knowledge of state intelligence work. In other words, ByteDance, and also your TikTok employees that live in China, they must cooperate with Chinese intelligence whenever they are called upon. And if they are called upon, they're bound to secrecy. That would include you. So, Mr. Chu, if the CCP tells ByteDance to turn over all data that TikTok has collected inside the U.S., even within Project Texas, do they have to do so, according to Chinese law?
Congressman, first, I'm Singaporean.
That's fine, but there are employees of yours and ByteDance is in China.
We understand this concern. In my opening statement, we said, we hear these concerns, we didn't try to avoid them or trivialize them. We built something where we take that data and put it out of reach. This is what we did. We put it out of reach.
Out of reach, but they own you.
No, we put it out of reach by storing them.
ByteDance owns TikTok. If ByteDance is told, and the CCP owns ByteDance because the CCP owns everybody in China. And so by law, they can make them do whatever they want, and they say that by law, you can't tell anyone about it. So they can make you hand over that data. Is that correct?
Data is stored here in American soil by an American company,
you say that.
overseen by American
We thought that, but leaked audio from 80 internal TikTok meetings shows that U.S. user data has been repeatedly accessed from China when you said it hasn't been. And here's the other thing, following back on my colleague's line of questioning, in your own privacy policy, it says that you may share information within your so-called corporate group. Is ByteDance part of that corporate group?
If you're talking about the share of the entity with the share, I shared with the previous.
Is ByteDance part of the corporate group?
ByteDance as a holding company is part of the corporate group. Yes,
it's part of the corporate group.
Yeah.
Okay, so your own privacy policy says you have to share data with ByteDance. And if the CCP says, hey, ByteDance, you're going to do what we say, and you can't tell anyone about it because by law, according to that 2017 national intelligence law, they have to do it. That's our concern. Maybe you haven't done it yet, but my point is that you might have to. And that's where our concerns come from. I mean, over 300 TikTok employees have worked for China's state-run propaganda media. That's just from looking at their LinkedIn profiles. Okay, so and my last point is this. I want to say this to all the teenagers out there and TikTok influencers who think we're just old and out of touch and don't know what we're talking about, trying to take away your favorite app. You may not care that your data is being accessed now, but it will be one day when you do care about it. And here's the real problem. With data comes power. They can choose what you see and how you see it. They can make you believe things that are not true. They can encourage you to engage in behavior that will destroy your life. Even if it is not happening yet, it could in the future. The long-term goal of the Chinese Communist Party is the demise of the American power, and that starts with our youth. At any moment, they could demand that all of TikTok's data be used to design an AI algorithm with the sole purpose of promoting Chinese interests and destroying our society from within. You want to know why Democrats and Republicans have come together on this? That's why we are so concerned. Thank you, and I yield back.
Yeah, so
That was well said.
very, very well said.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight a couple points of that.
Sure.
The Chinese government, coming from two people that lived in China over a decade that speak Chinese and understand the motivations of how things have shifted under the Xi Jinping regime, under the current regime, it's not the China from before. The current prerogative of China is actually to become the global opinion leader in everything, to make sure that the rest of the world is serving its best interests.
Yeah.
It's gotten there, with the help of America up to this point. All these American companies that helped bolster its economy.
Yeah, investments.
Open its manufacturing section, all of these things. But now China's gotten to a point under this kind of distilled power dictatorship that it wants to not only be the global economic power in the world, but it also wants to make sure that everyone falls in line with its ideology. Yeah. Again, I like to bring this setup all the time. We're talking about a country that's a 9 out of 100 on the Freedom House Index. This is one of the least free countries in the entire world. We watched it tank. It didn't get that free when we were there, but there was a gray area where things were allowed to kind of proliferate and get better. Things are in the toilet now. It is not a free country. It's a dictatorship.
Yeah.
And it is now accessing American user data, hundreds of millions of people around the world, all of their user data, what they like, and crafting algorithms around that. So I'd like to just step away for 2 seconds from the whole data security thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe China has access to all of your personal data, where you go, where you shop, and maybe you say, I don't care about that, right? I don't care that a nefarious government that wants the demise of my nation is crafting an algorithm around me to disrupt my thoughts and put me on a negative path in life. Let's just say you don't even give a shit about that.
Right.
What you probably should give a shit about, though, is not just the algorithm itself and not just where your data is going. It's the intent of all of this. This is unrestricted warfare coming from an authoritarian state that is trying to manipulate the public, get them to vote a certain way, get them to think a certain way, and really actually just shift the very nature of an entire country, and is successfully doing so. Mm-hmm. I think one thing I was disappointed about in this whole hearing was that people are talking about it with plausible deniability. When we know, with 10 plus years of experience in China, that this is what's happening already.
Yeah.
It's already been laid bare. They've made their plans. And if you watch Chinese media, and I think a lot of these people in Congress unfortunately don't speak Chinese, you'll see that what they tell their people is that America is already the enemy and we're already at war.
Yeah.
They're training their populace in the education system to hate the rest of the world while we teach our kids to love the rest of the world, right? This has already begun, and I don't know why we keep dancing around this topic and saying, oh, maybe when this happens in the future, it will be really bad. It's already happened. So this should have happened yesterday.
Yeah, I actually want to take on another point here. We know that, especially recently, they've been cracking a lot of cases about spying in corporate espionage and corporate spying. And, for instance, they've caught many people that have been approached by the Chinese government, either through LinkedIn, usually Chinese nationals or, maybe ethnically Chinese people living in America. And they find them on LinkedIn and so on. They find people that are working in the defense department or so on.
This is huge.
So they approach them, they kind of wine and dine them. They say, hey, come do a speech at a university in China next time you're visiting family. Or how about you visit your family? We'll pay for the ticket. And then they're like, oh, tell us a little bit about what you're working on over there. And then it gets to a point where they start to offer them big monetary incentives. They either pay them a lot of money or they say, hey, we'll set up a research institute for you here in in China. All you need to do is get your proprietary information and bring it over with you. And the FBI and so on and the Department of Justice and all that, they keep busting people constantly while they're trying to leave with like USB sticks full of like very important sensitive information, or they've already sent it over. They sent it over in one way or the other. They've either sent CDs or emailed it or sent file transfers of all this very sensitive information has already been sent. So this is from actual American companies that already have very high security level on them. Okay, the Chinese government still infiltrates those. So imagine if the company belongs to China.
Yeah.
They don't even need to go through these extra steps. They just tell, and I'm not saying Mr. Xu over there, but they tell anyone that works in TikTok, hey, because TikTok's whole idea to try and placate people is, we're going to set up this firewall. It's called Project Texas. We're going to set up a firewall. We're going to put all the data in America. We're going to make sure that it's got oversight by American people and all that crap. Okay, so what about the American person who is working for TikTok, who they say, we need information. The Chinese government contacts them and says, we didn't need information about Matthew Tai. Okay? They say, okay, they go into the firewall as their American oversight person. They draw all that information out, put it on a USB stick, burn it to a CD, if people even still do that, put it on a floppy disk. Doesn't matter. Okay, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Just take the data out, put it on your laptop, go home, sit on your own Wi-Fi network, and then send it off to them.
Yeah.
The data is completely vulnerable because, as you heard there, and as we've been telling all of you guys for years now, Chinese companies like BitDance are beholden to the CCP. Yeah. They have to do it, and they have to be sworn to secrecy when they're doing it. So when the intelligence officers come to them and say, we need his information, they'll contact the person they trust in the company that's working at TikTok. Because remember, lots of Chinese employees work for TikTok, okay, and work for Douyin, and they'll approach the person that's loyal to the CCP and be like, okay, go and get that information. So there won't be a paper trail of someone trying to access a firewall or break through or open a port on a firewall or something. It'll just be someone who goes into a DMZ or whatever within the network, copies the stuff off, whatever way, and then goes and gives it to the Chinese government. So it's really insecure. And unless the ties with China are completely cut,
the company must be sold off away from China, and China cut off for this. The only way this would work.
And all the employees that, are Chinese government connected or so on need to be removed from the company. It's the only way.
There can't be any sort of operations at all in China.
Yeah. So unfortunately, as much as they're trying to placate people with this nonsense that they're going to try and make it secure, it can never be secure. And there's one other point that I wanted to make about all this this nonsense. But yeah, you make a point. I just
wanted to make sure everyone's clear of what TikTok's been guilty of thus far.
Yeah.
TikTok has been caught with key loggers in the browser, and was it the browser and chat feature, I believe?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. They say it's for spam bots or something.
For spam bots, and they said it's company practice. But what if I told you that they have already used in the internal code of TikTok to be able to pinpoint and track journalists?
Yeah.
They've already done this. They've already breached these things. They've already kind of overstepped that red line, so to speak, right? They have been feeding children content that has been promoting eating disorders. They have been promoting destructive behavior.
Suicide.
Suicide, unaliving yourself, as they say, to avoid TOS.
All this other garbage like the blackout challenges and the NyQuil chicken and
all this stuff,
whatever Spanish scars that people are harming themselves,
If you read through things like unrestricted warfare and you understand the ultimate goal of the Chinese government's kind of global influence campaign, and so watch, countries that criticize it or free democracies that get in the way of what it does or its operations. The whole idea is that you promote and get into that society. You get into all of these different media companies, tech companies. You get into things like Google, Facebook, ByteDance is ultimately just controlled by the CCP. You don't even have to do anything. There's no layer there.
Yeah.
And what you do is you find ways to influence society in a negative way.
Yeah.
And that's already been happening. So I don't know why anyone is looking at this like there's some plausible deniability here. It's already been caught out doing this. And the most important feature of this, while China has its own version of TikTok called Douyin.
Yep.
And that feeds positive material to its citizens and blocks bad material that they deem bad for society so that they can shape and mold society how they see fit.
They don't allow like the NyQuil chicken or Tide
absolutely
Pod
not.
challenge or whatever, like
It's
blackout challenge.
It's incredibly filtered. It's incredibly curated to make people a more positive person in Chinese society. And the American algorithm seems to be created or being curated to be a negative influence on people.
Sure.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a big part of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, what's this?
Oh, crossing the red line.
What's going on?
This is a segment when China says that the U.S. has crossed, or any other country has crossed the final red line.
Yes.
And this is a very important telling point, because what has been this whole crux of this thing is that China has said what?
That ByteDance is a private company. Okay, well, that's what the CEO kept going on about. It was his biggest thing. Oh, it's a private company. The Chinese government doesn't have any control over it. That's a bunch of bullshit. We all know it's a bunch of bullshit, but that's been the official line. So then why does the Chinese government spokesperson come out and say this?
Yeah, this is from
Wow, she's loud. Give me a second.
Yeah,
sorry if you were wearing earphones. I apologize. Let me get that done. She's just one of those loud, obnoxious types of people.
技术出口问题必须按照中国的法律法规履行行政许可程序，中国政府将依法作出决定。
All right, pause that real quick.
Oh yeah, we got to go back. Well, don't worry, guys. We'll translate it
We'll
for
read
you.
it in English for you. How rich is this?
Yeah, go ahead. You read this.
If the U.S. government forces TikTok to be sold, it will be a technology export issue, and the administrative admission procedure must be performed in accordance with China's laws, and China's government will make a decision according to the laws. That is from the Ministry of Commerce of China.
So, I mean, I guess you should have put in there a Chinese technology export issue.
Sorry.
But this is the Ministry of Commerce of China saying that they will decide, the Chinese government, will decide whether this sale could ever go through.
Yeah.
And if it did go through, it would be considered a Chinese technology export issue. In other words, this TikTok program is a proprietary Chinese technology.
Okay, thanks for saying that. Appreciate that.
And only the Chinese government will be the ones to decide whether or not it gets sold because it belongs to them.
I appreciate the Chinese government being so transparent for once and admitting that, yes, this is your tool. This is literally a tool of the Chinese government. Why do you have the central state power going, the state power apparatus to go out and defend TikTok then?
If it was a private company again, you would have a private spokesperson from TikTok going out there to defend it or to talk about it. Not the Chinese, not the Ministry of Commerce of China.
They have been going out there, by the way, on content, setting Wumaos, like paid internet trolls, to shut down any debate of this. And we're watching a classic CCP tactic unfolding right now. If you want TikTok banned or a forced transfer, and you want TikTok to be scrutinized, then you're racist now.
Oh, of course.
And they're pulling that.
Anti-Asian, you're xenophobic, you're racist, you're U.S. imperialist, you're insecure.
Xenophobic, all that kind of stuff, right?
But, I mean, what the hell? China bans every single social media. They
Facebook, everything.
Yeah.
Everything's blocked in China. So what the hell are you talking about? I don't like that we have to keep bringing this up again, but China blocks everything.
They block TikTok.
Okay. So this gets me onto some really big bullshit that really, really pissed me off.
Okay. So you have it up here? Wait, before you do that. Did you put that next or did you put those points?
I put this next,
From the horse's mouth, by the way, if you guys ever wanted to know what China's real, take on it, not the shifty CEO of TikTok, because he's really good at mincing his words. By the way, before you get into this, immediately after the whole Congress thing, or the next day or the next morning, he released a video on TikTok, which of course went viral because they control the algorithm. It's very easy for them to make it go viral, where he was like, oh, we're doing this thing. It's going to be safe and secure. We love our platform, etc. And he ends it by saying, tell your friends and family how secure, safe, and amazing TikTok is, and your elected representatives.
He's literally trying to manipulate the Congress.
This is exactly what people are afraid of, is that it's a tool of the Chinese government. It's a tool of influence. And he's going out there and he's trying to influence the law in America by telling all of his followers or all the people on TikTok, and of course the video went viral because he is the CEO of TikTok and they boosted it. Everybody's getting this message. Big Brother's watching you. Go tell your elected representative that TikTok is great. Tell your friends, tell your family that TikTok is safe, secure, stable.
Who are you quoting there?
There is no Tiananmen Square massacre. It's a lie. That kind of thing. Anyway, he didn't say that.
By the way, out of context.
Yeah, that's out of context.
That's Mario Cavallo.
But he said, go and tell your elected representative. So I just wanted to tell you that that's kind of what's going on. Anyway, you get onto your thing here.
So I get real pissed off because I do rely on a lot of, well, I shouldn't say rely on, but I use a lot of fact checkers, and at least to gauge if there's any big missteps inside of media.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I'll use like media bias fact checker and all this kind of stuff, and I use my own judgment obviously, but I'll look at mistakes outlets have made and then judge my own credibility rating based on that, right? I think it's good. Ground news, something we love to use. Shows you left, right, center bias, and it tells you who funds what. It's fantastic. I like transparency in media, right? Snopes is something I've been using for ages. This is like early, 90s internet. It's been around as a fact checker, right?
Sure.
And it's been very trustworthy, especially with things related to science and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Snopes is not some bullshit website where you go and you just type something in and it's like, yeah, it's right or wrong, and there's a lot of scrutiny that goes into it.
So you're saying that you approve of Snopes?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been a fan.
Okay, you're a big fan.
So
not today.
It surprised me to see this go on here, and it said, is TikTok banned in China? And they deemed that as false. Now, I was livid and shocked at this, and before I even get into the details, I want to make an appeal to Snopes, as I did to Quora. Either rectify this or explain your position, because this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Let me read you what they wrote.
Okay.
It says, in early March 2023, claims began to spread on social media platforms that TikTok is banned in China. We found the claim false. Okay. A video is posted, blah, 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 claimed the social media app had been banned from the country. Did you know that TikTok is also banned in China, the video said? Yes. See, here's a list of apps that are banned in China. So TikTok is even banned in China. Now, we would be considered in that list of people that said that. Go to the next page, please.
Okay, let's see.
So they go on to basically say that TikTok was never banned in China because it was never available in China. And their claim is that China has Douyin, which is their version, and then TikTok is the international version, right? So it's not banned, it's just not available in China because China has their own version. What this fails to say, and what this really insinuates, is that they're the same program with the same algorithm, with the same whatever. It's just that that's like the Chinese language version. Right. So that's the one you download when you're in China. Mm-hmm. So you can't go on there and say that TikTok is not banned in China, because guess what? It is. It is. Your claim is false. So please go to my next slide so that everyone can see very clearly here in this case that Snopes is false. I don't know where that went there, but what I will say is that, there it is.
Okay.
My test for Snopes. If you want to be a fact checker, you can get a Chinese tourist visa now, okay?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Go to, let's have your representative, let's see, who wrote that article? Who wrote that article?
Don't know, some Snopes dude.
No, it's a woman.
I like, some Snopes woman. Let's go back.
A Snope woman here.
Yeah, official Snopes woman of Snopes.
Sorry, no, it's Liz Scott. Okay, yeah.
Liz Scott, like something.
Okay, yeah, I can't. It's too small. Anyway, go back to my poignant Snopes false claim.
Okay.
While I talk about this, I have a challenge for them.
Yeah.
Okay. As a fact checker, I believe, just like we do, is you should put in your best effort to go and try to find if something is true. Otherwise, you don't make a claim that something is false, right?
Sure.
Liz, or whoever wants to do this, whoever gets put on the next, if you actually heed my advice here, go to your Chinese embassy, apply for a Chinese visa, get a tourist visa, take your iPhone or Android, I don't care what you use. Don't have a VPN on there.
Yeah.
Just have it stock, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Have TikTok on your phone and then go to China. Then open TikTok and tell me what happens.
Yeah.
Please, that's my only appeal. That's all I ask. I'm not going to say anything after that.
doesn't
Go to
work.
China with TikTok on your phone and tell me what it does. I want to know, Snopes, because if you're going to make a claim that it's not banned in China, and you're going to swing this whole idea that China doesn't ban content like that, then go prove it. Prove it to me.
Dude, they literally said it's not banned. It's not banned. It's just not available.
But that's wrong too.
Yeah,
that's
it's
also
like
wrong.
saying gay marriage isn't banned. It's just not available.
Yes, that's also like dicey wording for them. But so you're right?
It's just a stupid like way of trying to soften.
I understand, but it's even worse because it is banned. If you go to China right now with TikTok on your phone, it won't work. It is banned in China. It's blocked.
It's like saying drinking in public in Dubai is not banned. It's just not available.
Correct. It's not available.
Yeah.
Right.
You just can't buy alcohol.
You can't
there.
buy alcohol.
So-
And it's illegal.
Yes. On top of that.
Yeah.
That's some pretty low blow there, Snopes.
It's wrong. It is banned, and you cannot go to China with TikTok on your phone because it won't work. You need to use a VPN.
Even the CEO kept saying in the show that TikTok isn't available in mainland China.
Correct. So just to prove my point, if you have a little hunt around, if you want to find websites that help you travel around China, there are guides that say, in recent guides up to around this time in March, that say, unfortunately, you'll only be able to use Douyin in China unless you download a VPN first. Then you can unblock your TikTok on your phone, and you'll be able to use the international version of TikTok in China. It literally would have taken you 5 minutes, and that's what gives me super bad vibes about this Snopes thing. During this very contentious time, where people are trying to find which way, is Congress full of shit? Is TikTok full of shit? I don't know who to believe. I love this app. I hate this app.
Yeah.
That's a very detrimental thing to put out there, especially if it's wrong.
Well, whoever wrote it is, I'm guessing, is a big fan of TikTok. Maybe they make a lot of money on TikTok.
Maybe they have their own TikTok channel. I'm not going to speculate because unlike Snopes, I would like to prove it before I make any statement.
Yeah, I know. I'm just throwing out a couple of reasons there, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a Communist Party member. You never know. Plenty of Chinese Communist Party members all around the world. You know, there's 90 million of them or something.
Yes.
They really are.
90 million.
There's 90 million Chinese Communist Party members. And they're not all in China. That's the thing. The people running the Confucius Institute in your university, they're Communist Party members.
There are party members in that entourage. Not all of them. There are Communist Party members.
Definitely. I mean, that's why they were sent there. Anyway, let's continue on. What have we got up here? TikTok trackers embedded in U.S. state government websites.
It gets worse. Okay, guys, if you didn't need a bigger laundry list of what TikTok's done wrong, there are tracking pixels. This is basic. You can explain what a tracking pixel is, period, on a website.
Yeah, when you go to a website, it just keeps track of who's going there and who's visiting it, and it can...
Yeah, you imagine it's a tiny little square embedded in the page, and that's basically how you keep stats on web pages. It's par for the course, right?
Yeah.
But TikTok would potentially have access to with their own tracking pixels if they were embedded on certain websites.
Yeah.
Well, it was found in 2022 that on this Arizona Department of Economic Security, that's a .gov website.
Yeah.
So it's through the government. This is not some biz.org, right?
Yeah.
This is a .gov. There were TikTok tracking pixels, which potentially, and I'm gonna kind of not verbatim quote, but some experts out there were saying that potentially if there are TikTok tracking pixels inside of government websites, if all of this data was accessible to the Chinese government prior to this, if there was tracking pixels on government websites like where you get your driver's license renewed or something like this, the Chinese government potentially had access to all of that information.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sending it to the central
Just
party.
wondering how they got it on there in the first place.
There's advertisements and things like this, right?
It's popping in there, yeah.
And there's also partnerships, because it was not seen as a nefarious thing in the past, right? This is like stuff that kind of came to fruition over the past 5 years.
It's like when the government's cringe and tries to be hip for the kids or something.
Exactly.
They put a TikTok thing in there. Yeah, I get it. It's kind of like when those churches do raps or whatever, Isn't it just the worst?
Circle,
yeah,
when
exactly.
Churches do raps.
It's like, it's something like, rapping the, Jesus is my homie or whatever.
Yeah, definitely doesn't drop the N-word in that video.
No hard R's in that. Anyway, let's move on. The World Economic Forum has a lovely thing to say about TikTok. By the way,
I just want to make a quick statement about it.
Go for it.
We've made fun of people in the past that get on this whole
Great Reset, World Economic Forum.
And I do there's a point where you go too far down that rabbit hole, and you're like, holy shit, lizard people are coming.
Yeah.
The more I look into the WEF, though, the worse I feel about it.
Oh, yeah.
There's some bad shit going down. And again, I think it's actually not conspiracy theory level. The more I look into it, the more I realize that huge financial leaders in the WEF have a vested interest in China because they're invested in China. I think that's all it boils down to.
Follow the money, you know?
Did you notice that in this spiel that China wasn't mentioned?
Yeah, it's interesting, huh?
What? How?
Yeah, it's because they're trying to distance it.
Yep.
And quite honestly, your average user of TikTok is very ignorant as to how the Chinese government works. And is very ignorant as to how much sway the Chinese government has over the app.
Yeah.
Because all they're doing is like dancing or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, doing a stupid upside down cake challenge in a Jello or something.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. It's upside down cake challenge in a Jello.
Yeah.
In the Jello, you're in it.
Yeah, I mean, I make fun of it, but that's only because it's bloody stupid.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a boomer about it because there was entertaining and very good content on it. Just like any platform, right? You can say people, there's people out there like, I don't watch YouTube, it's full of stupid stuff.
I don't know. I'm just of that opinion that when you see like some random person, like we were at a restaurant and there was like this young girl just set up her phone and started dancing. I wanted to slap her.
No, that's mad regarded.
It's like, don't do that.
Right.
Like you look dumb and it's like, we're all trying to have a meal here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of your weird like dancing live stream.
Winston slapping children since
2018. Of course, I would never do that.
No, it's a turn of phrase. I'm joking.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to cancel you on air.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But that's what they're going to do. Remember?
Dancing
dude,
around.
It was so funny. Before we continue, I've got a lot of detractors who are always going after me, right? And they set up this website to try and like take me down. And
not to the Paradise City.
No, unfortunately. And when I made a video about like the state of the rural toilets in China, and they're really bad, right? The truck stops and stuff. And I put footage that we filmed together. Remember when we were on our Conquering Northern China trip? A lot of them came from that trip. Remember, every time we stopped at a truck stop, I'd film the toilets because they were just appalling. And somebody left a comment saying like, man, someone needs to napalm that toilet.
You didn't say it.
No, somebody...
Not that would matter.
Because it was so bad that it needs to be like erased from the earth. It's basically
a
toilet. A toilet. So it's
not a person.
No, it's like, man, someone needs to napalm that truck stop toilet. That's what he said. And I liked the comment.
Yes.
So they made this article about how I endorse napalm attacks against Asian countries. I'm like, wow! Yeah, it's a real stretch. And they put that like Vietnam picture of the napalm girl running down. It's like, Winston Sterzel, Serpent ZA, endorses napalm attacks against Asian countries.
Yeah, because you liked a comment that said, wow, that toilet needs to be napalmed.
Yeah. It's stretched so far. Woo! It's ridiculous. Anyway... Man, if only you guys knew the kind of absolute absurdity we have to put up with. This is something that was actually done as part of an Australian investigation.
Yes.
I wanted to read a couple of points here. This is actually, it's a pretty long thing. You can look it up. In fact, we can tell you what it's called so that you can look it up later if you like. It's called TikTok, BitDance, and Their Ties to the Chinese Communist Party. And it's a submission to the Senate Committee on Foreign Interference Through Social Media. And this is an Australian thingy, Kind of half expect a kangaroo to be on the cover, but anyway, I'm just joking.
Making friends everywhere.
No, seriously though, it would be a koala and kangaroo.
Yeah.
No, but
let's not defame us.
No, of course, no. Australia's starting to redeem themselves. I got to put it that way because honestly,
Canada's turn.
Yeah, that's going to take a long time. Yeah, Canada's far more affected than Australia, actually.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. And I've always seen it that way. The CCP is far more entrenched in Canada than Australia, but the CCP is massively entrenched in Australia, more so than most places.
We're all dealing with it.
Yeah. Anyway, these are just some of the points that were in that report. Now, there's a lot of points, but we wanted to read these.
Yeah.
Number one, a powerful public platform, not just dance videos. It says... TikTok's claims that it is about entertainment, not politics, are untenable. Last year, a third of adult users got their news from it. While 1 in 6 American teens say that they're on the platform almost constantly, the platform has significance far beyond playful short videos. Okay, we know that.
Yep.
The true origin story formative experience absent from founder Jiang Yiming's official biographies in Beijing's 2009 decision to shut down a Twitter clone he founded, Funfo. The lesson, he later told by a ByteDance censor, failing to delete politically sensitive content, a life and death matter. Airbrushing the parent. The website of TikTok parent ByteDance today is bare bones, lacking detail about the company founder, corporate structure, or partners. Excavating 4 years of archived snapshots reveals layers of disappearing information, including proof that TikTok is the wholly owned corporate child of ByteDance. All right, TikTok's Chinese twin.
Remove us.
Oh yeah, I'll get us out of there. While TikTok is a household name, its analog in China, Douyin, is not. TikTok claims to be its own insulated entity, but our research indicates that TikTok and Douyin share personnel and technological resources, have parallel management structures, and permit data sharing with each other.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, it's a very bad one. There's even more damning points here that we'd like to point out.
There's 8 in total.
Yeah, not a private entity. Going to bring us back in here. If ByteDance was once a private enterprise controlled by its founder, then it is no longer. The company's status began to change in 2017, when it launched TikTok and acquired Musical.ly. The Chinese Communist Party commenced a program of co-option, infiltration, and legal and extra-legal coercion. In our view, ByteDance should now be understood as a hybrid state-private entity. Okay, this is important, obviously, because they keep trying to say it's a private company. We all know that's not the case. The chief editor is also the Communist Party boss. ByteDance does not publicize that its editor-in-chief, Zhang Fuping, no relation to Jiang Yiming, is also its Communist Party secretary. His guidance is clear. Transmit the correct political direction, public opinion guidance, and value orientation into every business and product line. Number 7, positive energy for China's military police. Chief editor and party secretary Zhang Fuping was pictured at a 2017 signing ceremony with the director of the Political Work Department of the People's Armed Police, the CCP's domestic paramilitary force. According to a 2019 announcement, Douyin would help to spread the positive energy of the People's Armed Force. Okay, once again, we're talking about Communist Party members that are working with the Chinese military, and they are there in the company that owns TikTok. Whoops, didn't almost drop that. Okay, number 8, military security propaganda collaboration. ByteDance says it does not produce, operate, or disseminate any products or services related to surveillance, but we found Douyin, TikTok's analog in China, directly aids party propaganda and repression, and its top leaders are double-hatted in official propaganda organizations.
Same parent company.
Yeah.
TikTok is beholden to ByteDance, which is beholden to the CCP. And I just want to cap this off by saying, if you walk away from this at all, the only thing I want you to remember, well, most importantly, remember, TikTok is a psyop from the Chinese government.
Yeah, it is.
It's at least become one.
Yeah, and it's incredibly successful. And that's the problem is, it's 150 million users in America now, and it's big. Everybody uses it. So it's in everybody's pockets. It's in everybody's homes. And the Chinese government actually does have access to that data if they want. As much as they pretend like it's not a thing, they've been tracking you up until recently, your every move. Now they've changed it, but that doesn't mean that they can't do it again. If they want to, just turn it on. Because when you install TikTok, you give it access to your camera, your devices, everything, your location. That's kind of by default because you need that when you're going to create videos. And it helps your experience, okay? So people enable that stuff. It's really a bad deal, and that's why it needs so much scrutiny. I do honestly hope that what we see is a situation where TikTok doesn't have to go away, where it can remain because people like it, right? But where it can be removed from the Chinese Communist Party threat. In other words, sold to America.
Yeah.
That would be the best option. Because failing that, the second best option would just be to ban it outright.
Yeah.
And I honestly, if it was really up to me, I'd just ban it. I mean, there's plenty of other. Look at all these other platforms like YouTube trying to do shorts and stuff. It's annoying. I hate it. But guess what? That could take over. There are the other avenues for people to have their little short video creative things. There's tons of apps out there
There's
that can do
two
it.
very clear options: force a sale or ban it.
Yeah, one of the two.
Simple as that. It's a freaking enemy psyop.
Yeah, that's it.
Case closed.
Yeah, so guys, I know we went a long way with this whole TikTok thing, but we wanted to give you a little bit of insight. And also remember, if you have questions about it, leave us a super chat. We'll deal with that later. Anyway, it's time for us to move on now to our next segment, which is the Wu Mao Corner, where we talk about the haters and what they're up to. And it's usually quite funny.
Actually, no, don't show this.
Oh,
save that for next word because it'll take way too long.
Okay.
It's an interesting thing, but go after that part.
Okay, what to hear?
No. That's all part of it.
It's all part of the same thing?
It's all part of the same thing.
Oh, that's quite a long segment you got there.
Yeah, that's why I said save it. Keep
Okay,
going.
I'm going.
Keep going. Keep going.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. This is kind of interesting. Well, this is obviously a troll movie, right?
I mean, it's not. It has nothing to do with China.
Are you sure?
No, it's just because the IP ran out on Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I was always under the impression that it was some kind of like Hong Kong dissidents that made this movie or something.
No, it's not even from Asia.
Okay. I mean, like, that's how much I know about it. But
Yeah. Anyway, there's a horror movie called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's like a B movie type thing.
I mean, yeah, if you could have like a worse than B movie, what would it be called? C movie?
Like a
D
Z movie. No, that'd be Russia.
Oh, yeah.
Russia,
Yeah, Z movie. Yeah, it's a real... It's the kind of schlock that you'd watch if you're really drunk.
It's got really bad reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes currently has
what a surprise.
4% out of 100.
But is that from a viewer score or a critic score? Because critics can go F themselves.
Well, yeah, so it's 4% from the... Critics can go F themselves.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
all critics.
Not all critics, but for the most part, you'll see something that's got a very high critic score and a bad audience score, and that means it's a bad movie.
Yeah, but if you see both are high, it usually means it's pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Except Ip Man 4, which has got very high on both.
That's what you're building up to.
Yeah, anyway, let's carry on.
So the tomato meter gives it a 4% for critics.
Yeah, but the audience is 50%.
Dude, you know it's going to be shit. Let's be honest.
It's gonna be terrible. I'm not trying to defend this. This looks ridiculous. It's like Sharknado or something.
Yeah, it's like that. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is a cinematic masterpiece which showcases the best experience a film can offer. Anyway.
Okay.
I just want to see where it was made. Oh, it's American.
You know, it's a really good movie you guys should watch if you really just want to see absolute rubbish.
What?
The Miami Connection.
That's a great film.
Oh, man.
Greatly bad.
You know, the thing is, like, we used to do this, like, Friday night, get drunk and watch a bad movie thing. We haven't done that in ages, right? So we watched it when we were, like, completely wasted.
Yeah.
And kind of forgot about it. Then I came across, like, it the other day, and I was like, man, this was so good.
The memories were coming back.
And the memories started coming back, and we're starting to watch it again. It's like, what a... We'll be together. It's so good, The Miami Connection, but it's...
Great film.
It's great, but it's terrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
So you have to kind of force yourself to sit through, but you will appreciate it.
Yeah, but it's not ironically bad like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, no, this guy actually, he's like a martial arts taekwondo guy. Korean guy, and he like financed his own film. So it's kind of like The Room, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Where,
Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, because he was like, he was serious about it.
Yeah.
But it was so bad.
Right.
But it's great.
It is. Anyway, back to this.
Yeah, sorry.
It's an American film. And you guys know that Winnie the Pooh, the comparison of Winnie the Pooh to Xi Jinping, the leader, dictator of China, is banned in China.
Yeah.
So everyone used this film because the IP on Winnie the Pooh ran out. So they made this horror film using his likeness because it's legal now.
Right.
So, but then people started making memes about like this being really Xi Jinping. They're taking imagery of this bloody, scary Winnie the Pooh thing, and then
Xi Jinping is kind of a bloody dictator.
Yeah, he's like a genocidal dictator.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what happened was they're actually gonna have a showing in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But it was canceled for technical reasons.
Canceled for technical reasons, of course.
The movie's out. Like you can watch it. Like it's filmed and produced.
Yes.
There's no technicalities here.
Yeah.
Guys.
But there's there was a technical reason, so they canceled it in Hong Kong and Macau.
Yes, correct.
Interesting
so,
that.
Of course, it was never going to air in China.
No.
Imagine that. Just put that in your pipe and smoke it. By the way, guys, if you ever think that China is just another side of a different version of America or something, this is not a free country.
No.
Right.
You can't watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey there.
You can't.
Actually, you can't watch most movies, actually.
No.
There's a huge amount of movies that are not allowed to be shown.
You have to pirate them.
Yeah. Everyone pirates them, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Interesting.
moving on. The censors have even got to the piracy, though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times.
Yeah.
We did want to point something out. We do have a secret show every Monday.
Oh, we do?
It's fantastic. It's called Xiaoban Ho. And
I like
here's what you missed last Monday.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. It's like one of those 70s music videos where it's... anyway, let's get out of here. Take a look, guys. That's what you missed. Whoops. Call these grab hags.
Yeah.
Like grab hags.
Oh, everyone in China hates grab
Chinese.
Grab hagism, grab haggery.
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to lie. Does it not just look like pig slop?
This is hell in a pot.
Get out of here. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's like, really? Get the hell out of here. That one guy. Can you see that
like
one?
hagging.
Yeah, he's like, when grab hags can travel, that's when all hell breaks loose.
Oh, yeah. You don't do free samples.
Don't do free
China.
samples in China. I'm curious as to why that woman needs 2 massive plates of shrimp.
She doesn't.
Yeah, so do you want to explain to everybody what our show's all about?
First, tell them where they can go see it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If you go to patreon.com/ADVPodcasts, that's with an S, ADV Podcasts. We have a bunch of tiers there, right? 3 main tiers. We have your $5 tier, which will give you access to the Discord. Discord is a big community. There's over 1,000 people in there now.
Yeah.
We pop in there from time to time again, and you guys chat about certain topics. There's a room for my channel, there's a room for your channel, there's a room for the China Show channel. There's meme submissions. We get a lot of memes that we use for the show from there. It's an awesome place to be. If you can move up to the top tier, the Xiaoban Ho tier.
I'll get us out of there.
This tier is going to give you access to our Monday secret show. Every single Monday, we're up to 38 episodes now. Every single Monday, we have a secret show. It's not just like a lazy hangout Q&A. It's a full-ass topic.
Yeah.
Where we talk about stuff. We've exposed the sex doll industry. We've talked about live streamers,
dodgy expats.
dodgy expats, live streamers, how they get around the porn ban.
Yeah.
We get into the fake booze expose, which is our biggest episode.
Yeah.
We do full-on topics, knee-deep, like from our experiences in China and analysis. But then, just to let you guys know, it's usually a topic that we can't talk about on YouTube.
Yeah,
so it's
a bit
the dicey stuff.
Yeah.
It's the kind of the stuff that would get us in trouble on YouTube, right? We put that on there on our Monday
We
show.
always have a vote clip, which is kind of an edgy clip that, you
guys vote on.
We'll tell you what it is, and then you get to choose if you want to see it or not, because it might be a bit too much.
Too over the edge, yeah. Because we've lost touch with what's okay.
Pretty
so
much.
we put that on our Monday show.
Pretty much.
Also, we let you guys vote on what our next topic is.
Yeah.
So we'll give you choices, and people have... We've done crazy stuff. We had a Royal Rumble with all of the characters and ADV lore.
Yeah, and of course we had our soundbite
soundbite elimination challenge, which is a bracket challenge. It was all interactive, and it was super, super fun. But when you go to patreon.com/ADVPodcast, you get access to that when you sign up for the Xiaoban Ho tier, but also you get access to every previous episode we've ever done.
Right.
So it's not just the live ones every Monday, which is a live show, but you get to see the backlog of all of them too.
Yeah.
If you that's a little too rich for your blood, we have the $10 tier, which is the audio version of said episode. So it's not the live one, it's the audio version. If you just want to listen anyway, it's fine for that. Highly recommend it if the top tier is a little too
get the
expensive.
previous. You don't get the Mondays one, you get the previous Mondays one every week.
which accumulates, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope to see you guys over there. This is the best way to support us.
Yeah.
And support the
obviously,
channel.
only if you have the means, guys. We absolutely adore your support. It means so much to us, and it's just fantastic to have such an amazing community. And it is really a VIP club, so join it if you can.
It's a Q&A as well.
Yeah, every week. And we can't wait to see you there on Monday. It's our favorite time of the week.
So fun.
Anyway, it's time for us to move on to Worldview, guys. This is where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China.
When are we going to have the moon view?
The moon. I don't know. We should have it sometime.
You've had no sound bites this whole show.
Yeah, it's true. I think I should throw one in there.
Wow, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah, that was a little... the TikTok... the TikTok segment was a bit heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, guys. We didn't want to be too news-like, but we had to really just tackle that one and get it over with, because, you know what? We don't really need to talk about TikTok again, unless it's something comes out of it, until the next big thing.
Yes.
Now we've covered it. So what's going on Yeah.
We're running out of time here, so I won't go too in depth. But basically, Chinese authorities raided this U.S. company, this office. It's like a due diligence company to make sure everything's above board.
Mm-hmm.
And they raided it and arrested like 5 staff members in there.
And disappeared them with no trace.
What a surprise! And also, they just started their equivalent of Davos.
Yeah.
Their big meeting. Tim Cook's there. It was super, super dystopian and weird to see Tim Cook posing for selfies in an Apple store in Beijing when Apple's trying to move like all stuff out of China.
They're not trying to move stuff out of China.
I know, you know what I'm
They're
saying.
not trying to. They just say that. Yeah. They don't. They'll hold on as long as they can.
Hold on for eternity.
Yeah, something like that.
And continue.
Hold on tightly and don't let go.
Yeah, hold on tightly and don't let go. I just want to put this to rest. There is this clip going around, and what you're looking at right now, and just play it.
I'll just take the audio down, otherwise I can't hear you monologue.
There's a clip going around, and it is going viral, and I think it has a very specific reason. What you're looking at right now is a prom graduation ceremony of a Chinese high school, okay? Now, I can tell you firsthand, nothing in China looks like this.
Yeah, no high school looks like this usually.
No. So this is going around, and the funny thing is it was going around in China to a shit ton of criticism and absolute absurd reactions from Chinese people saying, "What world is this?" They were posting dissident-like statements and comments saying, like quoting things like, "Oh, look at the royalty, get to have it so good while we peasants starve in the country,"
Sure.
you know, that kind of stuff, right? There's all these like poems they were quoting and stuff. No one in China was watching this prom saying, like, this is accurate portrayal. Sure. It looks nothing like China. Sure. This is Beijing No. 4 High School, which is one of the most elite, top-tier schools that literally groom politicians in the CCP, massive, huge CEOs in the country. I mean, it's like the Harvard of schools or whatever.
The Harvard of high schools.
Harvard of high schools in
Do
China.
you have such a thing here? Is there a Harvard high school?
I don't know, West Point or something. Anyway, so
Ivy League high school.
Sure, some epic private. I don't know. I'm not a rich dude. Anyway, so no one would bat an eyelid.
Why is it even called Ivy League, by the way?
I don't know, dude.
It's got to do with the plant,
bro. I don't know. I think I went to an Ivy League school. I don't know shit. Anyway,
yeah, I mean,
I'm regarded. Dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. Why is this clip going around, right? Well, it was going around on the Western internet, on the American internet.
Yeah.
And people were saying like, holy shit, look, it's a Chinese prom. And it's not like going around with surprise, going around like, oh, this is what a prom looks like in China. Kind of like, when we would go film, this is what a gas station looks in China.
Sure.
This is what Walmart looks like in China. It's like an equivalent to show people what it's like on the other side of the world, right?
Sure.
But I started getting very weird vibes because why would, but by the way, multiple versions of this going around all over the American internet. And it was very interesting to see because why would China want this clip to proliferate? Well, it's because it would be in their vested interest for the CCP to think that the rest of the world is just like China is just like a really developed, nice, like, look at, this is how we do things. This is our, normal school. It's just being passed around like a normal scene, right? And it's very soft power. It's interesting. Even like an innocuous clip, it has very like non-benign potential.
Yeah.
For soft power. So that was interesting.
I see what you're saying. I mean, look, it's not out of the realms of possibility that high schools put on events like this. I've seen tons of like get-togethers and events.
For sure.
And many of the places I went to, they put on events. But yeah, this is a very sort of Western style prom that I've never seen in China before.
Happen in China.
I've never seen this before. I've seen gatherings. I've seen, where they do dances and they put on the ethnic costumes and stuff and, that kind of thing. But this kind of thing is very... Yeah, I've never seen it before.
The most important feature of this, again, it doesn't even matter about the content. What matters is that the clip that's going around to represent high schools in China is the best high school in the country.
I know.
In the political elite capital.
I got to be quite honest, it doesn't look all that great. No, considering it's the best.
You understand what I'm trying to say.
It's the top of the pops.
You know what high schools in China look like.
Yeah, this is like Lily League or whatever.
Sure. Anyway, not that important. Just wanted to throw that out there because people are passing this around like it's some sort of organic like situation. You know what I mean?
I got you.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's kind of interesting.
Enough.
Yeah, enough.
Let's get into the Q&A.
Oh, it's Q&A time already. Seriously.
Already?
Oh, wow. What? So
we're
quick.
dragging out really
quick.
long here.
No, it's great, guys. Welcome to Yumcha. Okay, it's kind of my favorite part of the show. This is where we get to answer your questions and you question our answers. We leave it up on the weekend. Okay, so if you're watching now live or if you're watching over the weekend, you can check it out. We cut it out on Monday. But if you are a patron, you will always be able to see the full show because we upload the entire show with the full Yamcha every Monday.
Yeah, that's part of the whole patron.
Yeah, that's another thing. There are many other benefits, if you're a patron. But you'll find out if you become one.
Yes.
That's kind of how it works. Anyway, let's get on